What is going on, guys? It is Sunday, which means it's time to knock out some push-ups. So get ready, stretch out, because I'm wanting you to do them too. So today, just like many other Sundays, I'm gonna do 60 seconds of push-ups. I'm gonna do as many push-ups as I can in 60 seconds. But the reason I'm titling this video, something around like, 60 seconds of perfect army push-ups or perfect army push-ups, something like that. The reason I'm titling it that is because I'm going to do basically perfect army push-ups for 60 seconds. Now, I'm not saying I wasn't doing good push-ups before. I'm not saying I wasn't doing proper form before. Maybe I'll overlay me doing some push-ups. So possibly, as you can see, I'm actually doing pretty good form push-ups, and I'm doing them and they will count. The reason I'm telling you guys to do this, or the reason I'm actually doing this myself today, is because if you're preparing for basic training, at basic training, they are going to be insanely strict on push-ups. Basically, the way it's going to work also is the better you are at push-ups, the more strict they're going to be on you for your push-ups. And I think that's kind of retarded. So, if you're barely struggling, or if you're barely able to pass the PT test for the push-ups, they might give you a little bit more leeway. But for people like me, for people who can max out the PT test in basically just over a minute, they're gonna be a lot more strict on you. And I mean like really, really strict, to where basically your chest is going to be touching the ground. And that's one of the reasons that your head has to be tilted up. And if you haven't seen my, proper form for the push-up for the PT test, that is in my Army Fitness playlist. Maybe I'll link it up here, maybe I'll put it in the description, but it's in my Army Fitness playlist where I talk about the proper push-up form, and where you have to have your head tilted up and you gotta be looking forward. One of the reasons that you gotta do that is because you can actually go lower. A lot of times, if you have your head pointed at the ground, you're gonna be extending your neck a lot, and you're gonna be thinking you're going lower than you actually are. So doing this during the push-ups at basic training, they're gonna be insanely strict. They're gonna want you to basically lock out your arms every freaking time, which is insane. They're gonna want you to keep going lower. They're gonna basically have you touch your chest to the ground, okay? So that was my experience. That's been other people's experiences at basic training. They are insanely strict. So there's two reasons you may not be getting as high push-ups as you normally do. I have people leave comments on these videos, and I'm super happy. I love it when you guys leave your comments in these videos, but I just want you to remember, if you're training for basic training, you're probably not gonna get as high as the push-ups as you are right now for two reasons. One is they're gonna be insanely strict on your form, and if you don't do a proper form push-up, or at least their version of the proper form push-up, they're not gonna count that. The other thing is you are going to be really tired, you're gonna be malnourished or whatever. You're not gonna be eating a whole lot of stuff, right? Or eating your regular diet, and it's gonna be super early in the morning. You might even be a little bit sore. So basically, two things that are gonna hold you back at basic training when you're doing the PT test is you're basically gonna be tired and sore and maybe hungry, and you're gonna be doing things early in the morning where you're going to have to perform push-ups at an insanely perfect form rate. So if you're preparing for that, if you're wanting to do your best to prepare for the push-ups for Army, make sure you're doing perfect form. So if you want to do as perfect form as you can push-ups today, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm gonna jump into that now. Alright, so as usual, I'm using my phone for the timer, but the numbers that I'm probably gonna get is definitely going to be less than what I normally get. Normally, I'll get somewhere in the 70s, generally mid 70s for my push-ups in the 60 seconds, and more than likely, I'm gonna drop below 70 in the 60, maybe mid 60s or whatever, whenever I'm trying to do these perfect form push-ups. And I wanna do this to show you guys, when you get to basic training, that you maybe, for myself, before I left for basic training, I was doing a crap ton of push-ups. When I got there, I was just baffled at how perfect they want you to have your push-ups. At least for me, in my experience with my drill sergeants, my graders, they were insanely strict on your form. So I'm just doing this to show you guys. Just make sure you're doing as best form as possible if you're preparing. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Here we go. So pretty much every one of those push-ups, my chest barely hit the ground. My elbows, I was trying to have them lock out every single push-up. They're way more difficult like that, right? If you're not preparing like that, like I haven't been pushing myself to that limit. So if your body isn't used to doing those perfect form push-ups, if you've been doing push-ups and they haven't been great form, when it comes time for you to do that perfect form and just going that inch, 2 inches lower to actually going up and extending your elbows, it's really gonna lower your push-ups down. It's really gonna lower your numbers down. If you're barely maxing the PT test and for your standards, when you get to the Army standards, it may not be maxing. So keep that in mind. Leave your comments down below. I'm super out of breath right now. Leave your comments down below. How many push-ups did you do? 60 seconds, perfect form, preferably. Hopefully you did perfect form. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys later.